Welcome to TRS Clips. It's for all you guys whose attention spans are reduced because of short form content. This is the highlights channel. Enjoy the video and make sure you consume a bunch of highlights. Binge watch TRS Clips. How do you explain the origin of yoga as a concept? And now I'm talking about the Western definition of yoga, which is the actual exercises, the meditation. Where do you think all that began? Because what I've been told is that meditation came first, like prayer and meditation came first, contemplation, silence. Because I mean, it's a very everyday human life observation that when you're quiet, if you're alone, sometimes you can feel a creative surge. Sometimes you get thoughts about these things. That's how Twitter is even a concept. That's how the best tweets come out. What I've been told is that there's a legend that says that there was a bunch of rishis meditating, and then they kind of went so deep into the meditation that they allowed their bodies to take whatever form the body was going into, and that's how the asanas were created. And eventually, because of the study of the asanas, they figured that, oh, this exercise helps with this particular benefit, or this exercise helps this organ. But what's the origins of yoga?
So, I had started talking about Patanjali Rishi, right?
You'll have to explain who that is.
Yes, exactly. I will do that. So, Patanjali Rishi, that's where the Rishi thing came from.
Okay.
So, Patanjali, he is a Rishi who compiled whatever information related to yoga was there into something which is called Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Yeah. This is the book we refer even today, where in a sutra format. So, sutra is something like, think of it as mathematical formulae of today.
Okay.
Yeah. So there is no big explanation. There are one lines given to explain deeper concepts so that, in a very compact, comprehensive way that could be passed on. So he created that sutra text, Patanjali Yoga Sutra. In that, he gives the definition of yoga. Okay. He says, yogaha chitta vritti nirodhaha tada drashtum swarupe avasthanam. He says yoga is the cessation, the settling down of the chitta vritti. What is chitta? Very simplistically, let us understand that is our mind. Okay? And vritti. Vritti are, let's think of them as the different thoughts that keep coming to us. So he's saying, settling down of this continuous activity of your mind is achieving a state of yoga. You mentioned the state of silence. The state of silence, not just like there is no voice coming from outside. That silence has to happen inward, right? Because as long as, so when we say our mind is disturbed, what is really happening? The mind is not at rest, right? There's something or the other going on in the mind. Sometimes we'll think about, oh, what happened to me 15 years ago? Then we're like, oh, but tomorrow I have an exam. Then that thought comes. Then, oh, but what do I eat? Oh my God, I've become so fat. The brain is never at rest. Something or the other keeps going on. And that disturbs us. Now, if that goes to a level where you can't even sleep at night, the natural process of waking up and sleep is hindered, that is basically you're mentally completely, disturbed, leading to anxiety, depression, all of that. Yeah. So that is because of this continuous activity of the brain. Now, when that activity subsides, that is when we actually experience that state of silence. Right? So what he says is yoga is achieving that state of silence, which we now call samadhi. I mean, he talks about samadhi as well, but that is that stage of samadhi, that level of dhyana, meditation. What is meditation supposed to do? Quieten our mind, so that activity stops. We can either focus on any one thought that has come to us or anything that we want to focus on, but basically quieten the mind. That is yoga. He has a much more spiritual significance, or the reason why yoga chitta vritti nirodha has to happen is, as I said, yoga is a school of philosophy which perceives reality. So what he says is yoga chitta vritti nirodha tada drashtu swarupe avasthanam. Only when your mind is quiet will you be settled in your actual truth, where you will see the real truth. What will happen when the mind doesn't settle?
Your emotions, all that will get mixed.
Correct. You will see your reality according to those vrittis with a biased lens. Yeah. You will not see what is your real form, but you will you see it with whatever is going on in your mind right now. So the association that you make of reality will not be right. It will be with those, ephemeral thoughts that are coming to you. ephemeral memories that you have, which might not be right. Like, for example, if I'm wearing goggles, right? Red, brown, whatever. If I look at you, I will see you as brown. Now, if I forget that I'm wearing goggles, yeah, I'm wearing shades, I will think you look like whatever color that is, right? Red, I might see you as red and I might think, oh, everything is red. But actually, the issue is not with you or with me. The issue is with that obstruction that I have created. Only when I remove it will I see you for what it is.
And-
So that is settling of the mind.
Yeah, this obstruction angle is the most relevant modern day context for sure. It's probably relevant throughout times, but in the modern day, there's so many easy ways to spot obstructions around you. There's overstimulation because of our phones and social media. There's overstimulation because of the wrong kind of foods that's out there, and food is a big part of yoga. And probably generally people are not as physically active as their bodies are meant to be in the modern day, which is why yoga is probably coming to the forefront everywhere all over the world, because people are understanding that we live in these urban jungles, we have urban lives, we're not going to be able to solve many of those situations, but yoga at least begins to undo the effects of those situations initially. And then after a point when you realize you don't need those situations in your life, then you can go deeper into yoga anyway. But that process to just balance out your mind and body, it's a very good modern use case of this system.
Absolutely. So although yoga, the ultimate, outcome expected is to reach that stage of what we call kaivalya, where you become one with the Paramatman. So, okay, let's go back and understand what is the meaning of yoga. Okay. The word yog is a Sanskrit word which comes again from a root word. Every Sanskrit word will have a dhatu, a root word from which it comes.
Okay.
The root word for yoga is yuja. Now, we say yoke in English.
Yeah.
That is also a related word which comes from yuja. Yeah. Yuja is to achieve a state of union. Yuja is also to achieve full focus. That is also yuja. Yoga samadha, yoga yuja. So from both of these the word yoga comes. So union of what? So we look at it in two ways. One is union of mind, body, atma. Okay. The second is union of the atma with the Paramatma.
When your soul combines with God.
Yeah, like whatever is that reality that we talk about, right? The Brahman, the concept that we have.
The all-pervasive reality.
All-pervasive reality. We understand our reality and we understand that we are basically that. Like the Ved Vakyas that we have, that Aham Brahmasmi or Tattvamasi. So the larger, we are basically that larger divine Tattva. And realizing that is also yoga, which happens when you achieve that ultimate state of kaivalya.
Okay, to kind of simplify it, maybe for some of our Western audiences, this is what the Buddha achieved. Moksha. When we say becoming a Buddha, Nirvana.
Correct.
These things, that's the ultimate goal of yoga. Which is why when people on the show, especially entrepreneurs, ask me on the show what the meaning of life is, I want to explain this to them, but not everyone's ready for this.
Correct.
Definition. I had a very big mentor of mine recently ask me what my purpose of life is. I looked at him and said, I actually just want to escape this cycle of birth and death. And he looked at me like I'm crazy because not everyone's ready for that definition. Correct. The thing is, the more you stick to yoga, the more you realize that that's the actual game. And if you chase that game, your material game will take care of itself. Of course, you've got to put hard work there and all also. You can't use yoga as an escapism. You've learned to live in both worlds. You've got to achieve your material purpose, which is different for everyone. And everyone has to achieve this purpose eventually in their soul's journey.
Absolutely. Though I will say, what your purpose is, the realization of your purpose comes from, like it is very different for every individual. While that is the eventual goal for everybody, not everybody will have the realization which you have. Then is yoga not for them who don't have that realization? No. That is why I said there are two types of unions. One is which you are seeking, like, merging with the ultimate. But there is another, which is very simple, to achieve the union between your mind and body.
That was the video for today. Make sure you hit like, subscribe to this channel and share this video with your friends. TRS Clips will be back soon.